afternoon, good evening. Cruising with AB. A successful hunting expedition was had this past Thanksgiving weekend. All of us have been recovering from that trip just because of how far we had to extract that animal from the woods, or woods, all the brush and thorn bushes, and mesquite trees, cactus, and everything else, the rocky terrain. So I don't have any videos of the hunt itself, and I'm working on trying to get something edited showing after the fact and us field dressing it and stuff like that. I don't know if YouTube will accept that kind of stuff or not, but we'll see. So it was a good time. It was nice to be out with the whole family and boondocking in our little travel trailer. Only needed air conditioning for a little bit one day, so we didn't have to run the generator all that much. So it saved us a lot of propane and gasoline. But it was kind of muggy one night, and I like to have a little fan blowing in my face, so went ahead and ran the generator all night for that. But yeah, it was fun. I've had deer run after they've been shot before, many times. It's in the first time that it's happened. Typically, we try to shoot them have our shot placement to where they just fall right there. They don't go anywhere else. And I thought I was doing that, and that these deer are strong and tough, and this one ran off. Probably ran maybe 200 yards or so into the bush, and we had to go track it down. After I shot it, I knew that it was hit. It was hit good, but it was still alive. And you always want to give the animal some time to expire. So I stayed up in the blind for about an hour, a little over an hour, and when it had laid down, I could see it. Barely. I could see where it was laying down, and I just thought, okay, well, I'm just gonna let it go in peace. So I waited another 20 minutes. So it was about an hour and 20 minutes, and I decided, well, I'm gonna go ahead and just get out of the blind, go in the truck, fill out my paperwork for the tag, go ahead and go over there and tag the animal. So I went there and I sat in the truck and I talked to my daughter, who was hunting down the road a little bit. Said, probably need some help. And so that was another probably 10-20 minutes doing that. And then I got out and I grabbed my other rifle. I put the shotgun away and I grabbed my AR. And I said, well, if I've got to put them down, And so I went back up into the blind and got my binoculars, and he wasn't there. He was gone. I went, oh, okay. So I waited a little bit longer. I said, well, that means he's still alive, so I waited a little bit longer. And so then I went tracking it down, found the trail, and I started following it, and I got probably about, I don't know, 50 yards into the brush. You can't be quiet walking through that stuff because it's so thick, so breaking branches and stepping on dead wood and limbs and tripping over rocks, and the rocks are rattling around on the ground, and I heard that deer get up and run again, hobble. So I said, okay. So I texted everybody, said, hey, why don't y'all come and give me a hand? I'm gonna wait a little bit longer. So by this time, it's already been almost hour, 45 minutes, 2 hours. I waited for everybody to get there, and then we started tracking the blood again, and probably about 20 yards ahead of us, 50 yards ahead of us, I heard him get up and run again. So I said, oh man, this is not good. And it wasn't gut shot, it was shot in the neck, and I know that it broke its leg. Bullet traveled down the neck and went out the leg and broke it. And it was, had a good trail. A lot. I was saying, well, you can't have that much left in them. And so we waited for a while longer, and then I finally, my daughter could see it, and probably about another 50 yards away, and through the thickest brush you could think of, and so I took a couple of shots, and behind the ear is what ended up taking it finally. But then the fun began. The deer was really heavy, so we field dressed it, which lightened the load. And then the fun began. I was navigating. My back was really hurting by this time, so I tried helping drag when I could, but man, I was hurting pretty bad. So my daughters and my wife, they all three got on it, and I drug that sucker out. So it was definitely a family endeavor. And we got it back to the trailer and hung it up and did the do. Ordered it up in an ice chest, and we came home. So today is Wednesday. Deer's been on. I did a lot of butchering already on it, processing it, and this will be Wednesday, so we'll finish it up tonight, when I get off work. Get it all packaged up, and I think we'll be good for a while because we don't have any room in our freezer to put anything else with our other food that we had in there. So that might be the only deer we shoot this year, which I don't want to take more than what we need, even though each hunter is allowed 2 bucks bucks and I think 2 does, I believe, a year in Texas. So, that's where we're at. I would like to go shoot a hog. And if we do that, I might end up having to go buy another little, probably one of the smaller chest type freezers. Something that doesn't take up much room in the garage and only use it for game. And then unplug it throughout the summer. Any of y'all have ever had one of those chest type freezers, you know how that game is played. I would much rather have an upright freezer, dedicated upright freezer, because at least you can open the door and see what you have. But I had a big chest type freezer. Actually, I still have it, but it's occupied by other things right now. But if you don't rotate your inventory, you've got stuff down at the bottom that you've completely forgotten about, and you're always just picking off the top. So that's why I don't want to get a really big chest type freezer. I just want something small, something that, hey, look, the only thing that's in here is deer meat or hog meat, and that's it. Maybe the occasional turkey, because they're pretty big. You know, between Thanksgiving and Christmas, we usually buy a couple of turkeys when they're on sale, and hams, and so those are pretty large items. But anyway, that's our update, and this video is 12 minutes long. And if Tim is watching this, I looked at your song, and I'm getting into it. And maybe I'll have something by end of the weekend or something. I already put a blues tune to a 12-bar blues rhythm to it. It sounded pretty cool. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Adios.